In today's video, we'll talk about 6 ways that coaches help build an athlete's love for their sport. So if you're new here, I'm Dan Blewett. I'm a former pro pitcher and the former baseball and softball academy owner. So I've seen the dynamic between coaches and players and parents and their kids. And the way that plays out, everyone wants their kids to work harder and have a really long, fruitful, successful career, right? And one of the biggest things that allows players to play really long and to get out a lot out of their careers is to have a great work ethic. And one of the great ways that players develop a strong work ethic is through just enjoying what they do and really loving their sport. And that can be built or destroyed by coaches and by parents. So today let's talk about coaches and 6 ways that they help players start to love and build that love for their sport. First way that coaches help their athletes build a love for their sport is just by projecting this feeling that the coach really cares about them as people. That's like an underlying foundation. And when players feel that, like, hey, Coach Dan's really got my back. I know he actually cares about me as a person, not just as like a pawn in his game to win games or to, be a state champion or whatever. When they feel that you just really care about them as a person, it allows them to relax and they know that you've got their best interest at heart. And then they can play looser, and then everything feels lighter and easier. That's a really important foundational aspect that coaches project that helps kids love their sport. Number 2, teaching them skills in a really purposeful way and teaching them the nuances of the game. Players, when they have found a sport that they really like, they become really, really good learners, and they're desperate to learn the little nitty-gritty things and the nuances and the stuff that maybe they don't know that exists. Really good athletes are really good learners. So when coaches really make a good effort to teach the little stuff, that goes a long way where kids come home and they want to share what they learned, these little nuanced things about ball handling in soccer or a new dribbling technique in basketball, whatever it is, and then they're excited to go back the next time. Even if it's hard work at practice, they're excited to go back because they're going to learn something new that's really interesting and useful and expands their perspective of what's possible in their sport. Number 3, good coaches build love for the game by keeping it light during downtime. Lots of sports have downtime built in, whether it's halftime or it's between innings in the dugout or the long pre-games in baseball or softball. When coaches can make those downtimes feel light and fun and players can laugh, they can be themselves, they can joke around, and coaches can kind of participate in that themselves, that's a really good recipe for saying, hey, we know practice is going to have some hard work in it. Games are going to be tough. But when the hard work is not going on, we can be ourselves. We can laugh. That's why we're here. We're here to laugh. People have asked me on TikTok and Instagram, what does it actually mean to make a sport fun? A lot of times it just means making the downtime light. You can screw around during a rain delay. You can spit sunflower seeds at each other, whatever it is. But when coaches help create this light, fun atmosphere and downtime, it makes a huge difference between cutting down the pressure that players feel during a game or just the grinding, tedious, hard work that's required at higher levels to maintain skill in their sport. Number 4, good coaches help build players' love for the game by letting players be themselves in some capacity. It's not to say that you get to do whatever you want as a player, because you don't, especially when you're a member of a team. In a team sport, you have to conform to the rules and the general, standards of the team. But when coaches allow players to be themselves to the greatest degree that they can within the constraints of the team itself, that really allows players to feel comfortable and good and at home, like this is where they want to be. They can be themselves. Maybe they can't be themselves at home. Maybe their mother and father are really authoritarian and they just feel really constrained at home, but they get to be themselves and relax and express who they are, again, to a degree with their sports team. So when coaches allow players to hey, be who you are on the field. Express your love or your passion, how you want to express it. That's a really good way that players build their love for the game. Number 5, another common way that good coaches help build players' love for the game is by reading the room and adjusting what you're going to do with your team that day, if it's a team sport, based on just the energy and what's going on. A really good example of this is in pro baseball. In July and August, and then the early weeks of September, when the season is just really grinding on, it's really hot, players are starting to they have a lot of nagging little injuries and stuff like that. Good coaches will read the room and be like, you know what? We played eight days in a row. It's been 95 or hotter, 6 of those. we're going to do a show and go. And in pro baseball or college baseball or whatever, a show and go is when you skip batting practice and basically you just show up maybe an hour before the game and you go play. You show up and you go play. Good coaches, they allow players to rebound and recover and having easier days when they really need an easier day, right? It's not to say like going easy on them, but just reading the room. What do the players need today? Maybe they need to do something fun, right? I've had coaches just give us like pitcher's BP, or maybe batting practices like something kind of unconventional on certain days when he just feels like the morale is low and they want to boost it up. So those things, reading the room and adjusting sometimes just for morale, is a really good thing that coaches do to help players continue enjoying what they're doing. And my last tip about coaches helping to build their players' love for sport is inspiring and being encouraging, right? Again, you don't know what a player's family life is like. You don't know what their life is like at school necessarily. And sometimes you as a coach might be their only person that really encourages them and really inspires them. Or maybe their parents are super encouraging at home, but they don't have an athletics background, and you're the person they look up to, maybe as a former player or whatever, to say that, you know what, I know the game, and I know that you could really be good one day. So understanding that in that role, to not just give them skill instruction, to not just put the lineup together, but also to say, you know what, you could be more than maybe you think you could be. I see something in you. And just to be encouraging and help them understand what's required to meet their big goals and their dreams. Be a participant in your players' dreams. That's what helps really build a love for the sport. I think and I've talked a bunch about making the sport fun. Kids quit when it's not fun, and that's true, but fun takes on a different form. Sometimes fun is just being in the presence of someone who inspires you. It's not like you're doing anything to make you laugh and giggle. It's just like, this is giving me purpose, and this person is a part of giving me hope and encouragement and whatever it is, and inspiration. So keeping it light and keeping it fun and inspiring players and keeping it feeling easy and making it feel culturally like something they always want to be a part of, that's a really big part of keeping athletes engaged and enjoying their sport for the long term, which is going to give everyone what they want out of the equation. They're going to work harder, they're going to stick with it longer, they're going to grind out the hard times when they really love what they're doing. And you as a coach are one of the integral people and helping to build that passion along the way. Thanks again for watching. Share this video with your friend. Check out my online courses, books, all my other stuff to help support the channel and what I do here. And I'll see you here in the next video.